Hello, everybody. I'm Patrick Völker, Global Product Lead, Google Web Designer, and I'm very happy to present you the dynamic video creation. We're talking about dynamic videos. So we're not talking about banners that show display videos which can replace videos in real time, but like YouTube Director Mix and other tools. So you have a chance to pre-render those videos, let's say 200 different versions with headlines and different footage and so on. You just upload a sheet and then press a button and Google Designer will render everything for you. And what you're doing then with the assets, with the videos, is really up to you. You can upload to Google Ads, you can upload to DV360, whatever, you can upload direct to YouTube. So you are really prepared now for mass production of videos, and you can do it absolutely on your own, absolutely self-service on your local computer. We create a new file and I call it GWD video demo. And on the left, on the ads, you can see there's a new entry point, video. And we can see the dimensions. Let's go for HD. But you could also see there was a 4K option available. So you can see the timeline has changed a little bit. It's more time-based. It is really on milliseconds based. Okay, let's change the preview later in case we have some issues with streaming here, but should be fine. So first of all, let's drop all the assets that I have into the library. And now it's taking a few seconds time. So in the meantime, Google Web Designer is now reading all the video material and is calibrating and making it a bit smaller for different, let's say, preview options that you have. If you have high intense video layers, many of them, that it doesn't use the high resolution. Of course, in the final rendering too. But here, so let's start. Let's drop the first scene. What we're gonna do now is a video of automotive. The second scene will then be this one. Just drop it on the timeline first. Let's make the scale a little bit smaller, tiny, that we can see the full timeline here. Okay, we can play a preview here. We have an opening with some clouds, a drone zoom on the city and a car driving in the city. That's a nice intro. And we want to have some masking here. We have many creative masks here. We have image masks and gradient masks and so on that you can apply here. We can have also CSS effects and also SVG effects here. In this case, I just want to have like an opening spotlight, opening the video, the focus lens here, and animate it on the video track. You can see there's a mask, which is at oval. Now I want to scale it with a keyframe animation. So what you see is actually this way you're already able to do on normal animation. Now you can apply and combine normal HTML5 animation, CSS animation, whatever, directly on the video and have effect on it. So you can see this is how it works, the first quarter second. So I'm very sorry, the fonts are very tiny. I hope you can watch the stream on a big screen. Okay, so it's a very short opener here, the animation. And now we add the audio track. Most of the video are public domain. The music that you will hear, I even composed for you. So the scenes are already perfect, adopted to the music here. On each bam and each bass drum, there's a scene. Nice. And here we want to have a special effect. That's why I add a white container, like a normal background or whatever. Make it clear white. This is something for those who already work with Google Web Designer with animations. I hope it doesn't need any further explanation. I call it White FX for the special effect. And this is a layer I put above. You can see on the timeline, it's above the video and it's covering everything. And now I want to have a white flash effect while this bam is coming. For that, I create, first of all, I make it invisible, of course. And now I create a keyframe. And another one 2 or 3 frames before, and another one maybe 10 frames behind, where I just fade it in and fade it out again. So here's full in. The other ones are already invisible. So if we animate, now you can see white and then white flash transition to the next video here. So let's play it. Whoosh. Yeah, nice. Okay, great. I'm gonna like this. Good. Okay, the music is continuing. So let's go on with some more video snippets here. So 0, 1, and 2. I need 3. It's okay. Video track. As you can see, I can add as many video tracks as I would like. And I want to put this now on another different track here. Yeah, sorry, because of the audio track, I should have added it too. But we actually don't need the audio track. So I can unlink the audio from the video now. Unlink, and now I can handle the empty sound and the video track independent from each other. I put it down here. Actually, I want to have the video lying above so that I can see it's covering here. Come on. It's missing. Okay. Okay. First I have to mark the track and then push it above. Yeah. So, and I want to have a transition effect here, a manual one. Of course, I could also mark both and have a fade effect here. Now I want to put this video track, let's say half a second, which is about 12 keyframes earlier, and then make a transition here. On the bottom, you can see this little plus. It says Add Transition. And if I click on it, you can see many transition options like slide up, slide right, slide down, and so on. And we want to go for fade. So very classic here. It's only a quick one. So you can see there's a track now, and I can move with my cursor this fading option here. And you can see if I scrub now the timeline, it's slowly fading in before the first video stops, and the speedometer here is fully visible. Okay. Let's from the very beginning. Tone white. Okay, and accelerating, like it. Good. Baff. And with this baff at the end, the drum here with the snare, with the drums, I want to add my 4th video, which is Final City Mover. Is it? Here it is. I just drag it on stage again. And to be honest, I want to get rid of the audio tracks here right now. And there go. Okay, good. Works. Now I want to get rid. These are all the empty audio tracks here that my mouse cursor is just right now. Just right click and delete it. We don't need it. And we can focus now, and we can see clearly the wave from the sound. The waves, the sound waves. Which means I can compose my editing now on a visual basis. I don't have to watch the video all the time. You can see where the drums are. There is a peak on the soundtrack again. And now the bass drum. It's coming good. And here on this position, we want to add some text. And on the last bram, like Inception again, has become modern, has become normal, we want to add then a logo and also the white flash. So at the end, it should be white flash again. So we take the white FX layer again, do exactly the same here on this position. Maybe make it fade out a little bit slower because the video is slowing down a little bit. Here, make it full visible on the properties. Full visible again. So we can check it's flashing in and slowly getting out. Good. And then at the same time, we want to add a logo later. But first, let's check how it looks like. We want to also fade out here. So now let's do the logo first. Put it on stage. Make it big at the end. I save now the time for having some nice claims. It's just a logo branding poor. It should speak for itself. Put it in the center. So it's the top layer and it's appearing, of course, here. It should be invisible again before. Otherwise it would cover everything. And here I add a keyframe. Let's say a little bit delayed. Yeah, keyframe here, insert keyframe. And now it would actually fade in all the time. If I do this, okay. So that's nice, it's fading in, good. And okay. So sound and visuals are in parallel now. I like it, they are synced. So, and at the end, I want to fade out the video. So we have the white flash from the logo and then fading out to black. But first I have to put the stage in black. So I just change the background of the full stage now, which is just I click on the side of the stage and make it black. And now let's see how it looks like. White darkening out. Nice. Good. So this is the end. And fitting. Stop, stop, stop. Okay. My fault. I forgot to pause. So now I told you we want to compose the headlines a little bit to the rhythm. And I like very much that you can see the audio track here. This is something that motion designers really, really appreciate. So let's go a little bit closer. We can see the 4 beats. The last 4 beats should be used to show some text, some features of the car. How many PS, how many kilograms? Let's zoom in a little bit. Let's go to the keyframe where the beat starts. And I just add a text field like I would do normally on a banner if I were to have a headline or something like that. So let's start with the car will be very awesome. Let's make it 570 PS. Make the font a little bit bigger that we can see it. Don't forget we have a full HD canvas here. So that's why the font size needs to be bigger. Let's take another font. Instead of Times Montserrat is fine. Good. Make it elegant, thin, or make it bold. Let's check how it looks bold. Okay, come on, let's make it bold maybe because we just have each line only for a few seconds or a few milliseconds visible. Maybe bold is easier to read. It's also good not having serifs here. So give it a name, headline 0 as the first one. And let's put it in the right position. This will be the benchmark, or let's say the template for the other text lines too. It's in the middle somehow, that's okay. Okay, now animate it. It will be like the logo and everything else, also invisible at the beginning, and then will be faded in. So here's, wait a second, let's make the timeline a little bit bigger that we have a better overview. We can see still the audio track below and at the keyframe and make it visible. And now you can see, actually it would fade in for 14 seconds. That's why we change from linear to step and, which means one keyframe before it's invisible. And now with the keyframe, it's visible immediately. No fading here, but we want to fade it out. Make it invisible again. Okay, let's check visible, bam, fading out, great. And here's already the next beat on the music. Let's copy this layer, let's duplicate it, call it headline 1, and write how many kilometers per hour it is, how fast the car can go. It's 480s in my fantasy. But first, we don't want to overlay them, but put the keyframes in parallel to the beat here. Put it here. So let's change the text. 480, did I say? Yes, 480 kilometers per hour. So done. Let's scroll. So we have bam, bam. That's good. Okay. So it will be according to the kind of techno-related music. The heartbeat will show a feature to bring the message. This is a nice car. This is fast. This is high end. This has the hard drive. And put the third one. Okay, so, and we say 100 kilometers per hour in 2.7 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a really fast car. That's acceleration poor. We want to advertise this too. And finally, we copy the last headline for headline number 3, and we will tell, because it's electric car, I forgot to tell it's an electric car, it has a reach of 540 kilometers. So we drop it here on the beat. Okay. So let's make it reach. Yes, and I think then it's time to preview it. Let's have a look at the full timeline here. Go back and preview. Good, right. Fading. Good. Now I want to apply a small logo, of course. This is something that we learned many years on advertising on YouTube. Always show the logo. It should be visible from beginning to the end. So add the logo here, make it a little bit smaller. Put it on the top right from the very beginning. Here we are. Let's apply some CSS effect that it fits better to the image. Sometimes it's not visible if the sky is bright. So no, that's not good. Let's try color burn. Color edge. This is basically nice. Let's check later how it looks like on the black. We could also go for screen. Most of the time, screen fits really well. Then only the lights will be visible. But the logo, I don't care about the CI here now, about the CD, about the corporate design. The filter should just show the logo all the time, independent on the background, so it will adopt. So it's getting dark on the filter when the sky is bright. And when we have a dark sky, it's getting white. Okay, good. And here we want to fade it out because the other logo is appearing. Invisible, make it step and again. So at the same time, when the logo is coming, it's jumping to the middle. Great. Good. We'll go to dynamic. Yeah. And I have the feeling there's missing something now that we're working with the CSS effects. Let me add some special effects. So I have downloaded here paranormal lighting here. I want to put this on layer. As you can see, I can also drag and drop the videos just on the stage instead of the timeline below. And then the timeline will create a new video track. Basically, that's even a 4K video. Okay, let's make it a little bit smaller. Let's call it visual effects. It's basically just some bokeh effects and some rays that will be visible here with a great spotlight at the bottom right. And it's also animated. Let's make this cover the rest of the video section. The CSS effects, I've chosen now the screen, as you could see. Apply the visual effect on the main layer here. And let's move the special effect because so it doesn't stop before the video finishes. Also, it shouldn't cover the logo, by the way. So let's put it down. Okay, it's stopping too early. So let's make both tracks parallel. Okay, this looks good. And let's see where it starts. The whole animation is about 15 seconds or so. So it doesn't make sense having it here on the speedometer. But maybe here if we are on the road. So let's start the video here. We just drag the left end to the cursor position. This is where it starts. And we apply a filter that it's slowly fading in. Again, like we did before. So fading in, play. Here we are. This feels like a cowboy riding to the sundown. That's a nice special effect. So we've added the visual effects. Let's save it and let's go dynamic. Use the last few minutes for going dynamic. You can see the dynamic panel here on the right. It looks very similar. I create now a new binding or a new version here. So this is the initial one is already created, is the one that we did on the stage. And I've created a new version now, a variant, and there's nothing inside yet. So we have to decide which assets needs to be replaced. And for this, we just go to the timeline and create, right-click. These ones, right-click, add variant binding here. Good, variant binding here, same here. This is the second and the third video I want to replace. The speedometer should be the same in all videos. And the last one, so actually basically the whole city setting should be replaced. So these three ones, just for demonstration. And now I also want to replace the soundtrack, depending on maybe what the message of the creative is and so on. So let's change the source of clip 7. Clip 7 is the soundtrack. If I double click here, you can see now. Oh, okay, forgot. So add variant binding for the last video, change the source. You can also see, wait a second here, it's an in point in the source. In point means we can also define at which millisecond the video should start. But we want to change the source here, just basically. Okay, if we have a look at the variants now, these are the resources that should be changed. You can see the videos that have been in the original one. Let's create a new one of the ones that have already dropped in the library. So the second one should happen in the canyon setting here. We have the car in the canyon here. And the last one is also the final shot in the canyon. So already done. That's all we have to do with dynamic. Let's play it. And you can clearly see all the effects, the music, everything is exactly the same, just a few ones to be replaced. Stop, sorry. Now we create a new binding. We have enough assets here. Let's take winter here. Let's say we are either in Alaska, Canada, whatever, in the northern sphere, or we have winter and we want to advertise the car in the winter season. So wait, second video, winter, yes. And the last one is number 4, winter. Good. And let's go back and preview this. So, but of course, we cannot only replace the videos and so on. We can do just all the dynamic stuff that we already used to know from banner advertising, data-driven advertising, and so on. Same here. So what we want to do is maybe you could see that the black fonts and the position might be perfect in one of the versions. So we can change, for example, the font color here. But you can see we can also change the text, the content, height, everything. It's nearly everything related here. And I want to change the position of our headline here of the font. It's not visible. I should have made it visible. So the top position, and we do exactly the same with headline 1. Run. And also the position, where is it here? Headline 1, position top. Let's go for the 10 seconds, and then the other ones, 2 remaining ones are also done. And then we have a nice outlook here. So headline 2, top position. And the last one, headline 3, we change the font color again. By the way, you could also change the font itself and so on. So many options here. It's really like, I have the feeling since the last release, really everything has been dynamicized. It's absolutely impressive. So here the ones, font size, that's font name, border color, everything. So, but we go for top again. Let's go to the variants. It has been added immediately. Double click on it, and you can see now, first of all, I forgot to change the music. The car trailer has also a canyon version with more fanfares. And then let's change the headlines here, how it looks like. So we have the 570 ps. Let's change position. You can see when I'm moving the cursor, it's going up. Let's take it to the bottom. So maybe black is better to see. on this effect. Let's make all of them on top position 800 pixels from top and change the color to white. Yeah, let's do take white. Yes, let's take white. Come on, just for demonstrating here. Make it easier, just copy and paste it now. Here, copy and paste again, and we can preview. Okay, so you can see we can easily combine CSS effects, animations, whatever assets are on stage, and combine it directly with our video on the timeline directly. We have full access. And the cool thing is these are now just 3 variants. But let's say, what about if you have 2 variants? We can download a template like a feed here. Let's have a look how the feed looks like. It's a CSV. I don't have Excel or anything installed. That's why let's have a look at it in a text browser. Here it is, CV, if I double click on it. So it's basically just a comma-separated CSV file. And I open it in the Atom text editor. And you can see now all the values are comma separated. Actually, it makes sense to have maybe just the initial line. So export after the first default version. And then you can create a feed, do it in Google Docs or Excel or whatever, and then download it as CSV again. And then you can upload. You can add many, many lines as much as you like. And then we upload it here on the 3rd button at the bottom again. And here it is. And you can see now we have a version Canyon and Winder, just a few changes that I made before. But I could have also easily just add a few ones. And finally, that's working. Good. And what we need to do now is publish it on the bottom right. You can see it's just locally. Maybe the future versions, you can directly publish it to our online tools, to the GMP servers. And we select the video version that should be rendered. In this case, we select all. And full HD here, full frames per second. Nice. Okay. And I say render, and at the bottom you can see now that the 3 videos are rendered. So as this is taking a while now, well, I could show now how the product looks like. You batch convert videos, or you batch create videos, and then you have it on your hard disk. It's completely self-service, so you have absolutely full control. The cool thing is about Google Web Designer, you can use the videos for anything. Use it for your whatever private home videos, use it for advertising, use it for maybe even competing ad servers, use it for YouTube. So it's absolutely not bound. What you create is absolutely yours, and it doesn't have to be online. But I would say for practicing, for example, having a look at Google Web Designer is always great because, as I said, you have absolutely control. And even if you have the files on your own, you have the source files, you can save it as it is. It's pure HTML5. If you have a look at the source code, it's like an HTML5 banner. It's absolute jaw-dropping when you see what the Google Web Design team has done here. And also interesting for developers, actually, you can now, let's say, auto-generate animations on your own code, create it, and then upload it to Google Web Designer and render your HTML5, whatever you did there, as a video. And that's absolutely new, and it's absolutely amazing. I sound like a fanboy, and yes, I am. Can you bulk create multi-video variants using a Google Sheet? Yes, but you have to export the Google Sheet as a CSV first. So the only connection so far with Google Web Designer is with a downloaded file, because everything is disconnected from the web so far. thank you very much for joining the live stream, and goodbye, and enjoy dynamic video editing.